"Ride on my back," the bird said, "and I will show you the islands of Indonesia." Higher and higher, Garuda, the legendary Indonesian bird, flew with the boy's arms clasped tightly around his neck. Down below, a chain of green mountainous islands stretched for thousands of miles. Garuda and the boy, whose name was Sutomo, flew across the volcanic peaks and fertile valleys of central Java. The boy noticed thatched village houses surrounding a large open green. On the edge of the green square was a mosque, a school, and a pavilion for ceremonies and meetings. the bird alighted on an open porch of a steep-roofed bamboo house. The house was on stilts to protect it from the flooding rains. Brilliant flowers bloomed against the dark green foliage, and coconuts clustered in the tall palm trees. Sutomo noticed that a salamatan was being held in the village. Indonesians call celebrations marking special occasions in life salamatans. All of the villagers will be invited by the family to a great feast and entertainment. And sometimes a shadow puppet play or wayang kulit will be given by a traveling troupe. To Sutomo's delight, he noticed a stage being constructed in the center of the open green. A wayang kulit performance usually lasts through the night. Sitting behind a white cotton screen, the puppeteer has hundreds of delicately painted leather puppets set in rows on either side of him. The evil characters with their black faces, bulging eyes, and large noses on one side, and the noble characters with their almond-shaped eyes, pointed noses, and white faces on the other side. A moral is taught in all plays, and the good characters always triumph over evil. Women and children sit in front of the screen and see the puppets in shadow form, while the men can sit on either side of the screen. Saying a prayer, the puppeteer lights an oil lamp and illuminates the white screen. The shadow of a mountain appears, and the gamelan music is heard. The suspense heightens, and the shadows of the leather puppets dart across the screen. The symbolic mountain marks the end of each scene, as scene after scene takes place. Then, after a fierce battle, the good king and his army defeat the wicked demons. Sutomo enjoyed the performance, but, like the other children, was sad to see it end. Garuda, the mythical bird, then flew Sutomo to the famous royal court in Jogja. The sultans of Jogja and Solo have magnificent palaces called kratons. Through the ages, the sultans have patronized the arts, and these royal courts have become the centers of Javanese music and dance. One of the most famous dances performed in the royal court is the Serimpi dance, and until very recently, only daughters of noble families could perform the dance. Accompanied by the court gamelan, the 4 young girls danced with exquisite grace in the fine palace of the Sultan. The Sarimpi dancers were dressed in beautiful batik skirts and embroidered velvet bodices, and on their heads they wore gold headdresses ornamented with fresh flowers. His uncle had told Sutomo about the other islands too, and so Garuda promised to show him more of his beautiful country. Flying over Sumatra, Sutomo noticed rugged volcanic mountains, wide plains, and lovely lakes. He saw many mosques and long village houses with roofs shaped like buffalo horns, where many families lived together. Garuda explained that the people of Minangkabau in west-central Sumatra prayed in mosques and were Muslims, like most of the people in Indonesia. Religion in Indonesia, he said, still has many of the earlier animistic and Hindu-Buddhist beliefs. All the people generally celebrate Lebaran, the great week-long holiday at the end of the long Ramadan fast. During Lebaran, people visit their relatives and friends and ask them to forgive their mistakes during the past year. This is a time of great festivity, just like in my village, said Sutomo. But why are the roofs built like buffalo horns? Asked the boy. Once there was a foreign prince, the bird Garuda said, and according to the old legend, the prince challenged the people to a buffalo fight for their land. The prince had a mighty buffalo, but the people selected a nursing baby buffalo, on whom they fastened a set of iron horns. The baby buffalo won, and the people called the land Minan, which means triumphant, and Kabau, meaning water buffalo, Minan Kabau. And that, Garuda said, is why they built their roofs like buffalo horns. The Portuguese settled in the eastern part of Indonesia in the 16th century on the islands of Sulawesi and the Maluku, and brought with them a romantic four-stringed instrument resembling a guitar, which the people called cranchon.
Dari mana mau kemana, ahai? Dari mana mau kemana, ahai? Dari Medan ke kota Langsa, dari Medan ke kota Langsa, Amboi Sri Lanka, Amboi Sri Lanka. Jangan marah, saya bertanya, ahai?
Today, this romantic folk music has spread to all the islands, and many villages have cranchon orchestras consisting of usually a guitar, cranchon, violin, mandolin, and banjo.
Dari Medan membawa kayu, ahai. Dari Medan membawa kayu, ahai. Kayu dibawa dengan tangkainya, kayu dibawa dengan tangkainya. Amboi Sri Lanka, Amboi Sri Lanka. Kalau Tuan inginlah tahu, ahai. Kalau Tuan inginlah tahu, ahai. Sri Lanka nama lagunya, Sri Lanka nama lagunya, ahai Sri Lanka.